Welcome to On the Spot. I'm your host, the world famous Colors. We have a special guest here today. Please welcome Michael Fair, all the way from Cleveland, Ohio.
How you doing?
How you doing, Michael Fair? Nice meeting you. You can have a seat. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and I was brought here some years ago, about 63 years ago. I come from a broken family. My mother, she couldn't take care of us, so I had a lot of siblings, brothers, sisters, and it was tough. Being shifted from my mother and father to Columbus, Ohio was hard for a young man at 5 years old. This really touched me because for years I was brought up in a setting where, before they even had black adoption, a white lady named Mrs. Cow, she was the one that had me in her care. And it was really tough because at that time I actually thought I was white, but being a 5-year-old kid, you don't know any different. Mm-hmm. So, she was trying to take care of me, but I had a lot of problems because at 5 years old, my father was abusive to my mom, and that's the reason why I was in an adoption setting in the first half. And this thing went on for years, and that's the reason why I was moved here to Columbus, Ohio. And it was a touching moment in my life that I'll never forget. But there was black adoption, because I was shifted to black adoption from her because she made me stand on my leg for hours at a time in a dark closet because she didn't understand what I was going through at being 5 years old and having problems from my biological mom and dad. So a guy named Mr. Stewart, who was my caseworker, would come out to the house and talk to me. Mm-hmm. And he would ask me about all the things that were going on in the setting with my adopted white parent at the time. And that's why I was moved to black adoption. And this lady named Mrs. Green had some of my siblings there that I didn't even know anything about until they moved me there. And I had 2 siblings there. One of my siblings' names was Greg Fair and Sammy Fair. And they moved me over on 1728 Franklin. I'll never forget that lady because she was the shining light in my life.
When you say shining light, is she very, very special in your life?
Very special. Because without her, I would never known my siblings. Mr. Stewart brought me there because, like I said again, he found out that I had siblings at 1728 Franklin here in Columbus, Ohio, so they wanted to bring us together so we wouldn't be apart from each other. And that was a golden time for me because once they brought me there, then my life started to transcend. And she also had other siblings there that I grew up with. They were foster siblings, but I got to know them also because she was good at trying to like help families come together. So we were all a big family, even though we had different, I would say different children that were in her home, you know, like they had different, they had the same type of thing going on that I had, you know. They had a broken home. She brought them in, and we all were like family. So.
Okay, so you saying that you had this broken home, and I'm really sad to hear that. But where have it got you to in your life today?
Well, you know, she helped to transcend my life into where it is today because, you know, when I was growing up and going to school, you know, I got a chance to meet a lot of folks in the neighborhood, people like Bill Moss, James Moss, you know, Mayor Coleman, Ben Asby. You know, I've met a lot of influential people along the way that helped mold Mike Fair's upbringing, you know, so.
So we talking about Mike Fair. Mike Fair, I see and I heard your CD many times, and you talking about Justice. Can you tell me about this Justice CD that you have?
That was inspired by, you know, George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and all these unwarranted deaths over this pandemic. I was sitting back thinking about all the things that's been transpired in our world, and I had to write something. I was motivated to write something because we got to really look at what is going on around us, and I just wrote this song to let folks know that we can stand up and we can stand tall together, and we can make things happen if we just believe in ourselves.
Okay, so you talking about writing a song. Who did you link up with to get your song done and your music?
Well, I want to put a shout out to Marcos Records because, you know, I was inspired to call him. You know, actually he was one of the first persons that I called because this man is about trying to help somebody, and when you're trying to help somebody, you know, that's what I'm all about too, is trying to help somebody, inspire somebody. Even through my darkest days, I try to inspire people. So when I ran into him, I was just overwhelmed, and I would tell anyone out there that Marcos Records is, if you're gonna sing, dance, do whatever you do, you need to get in touch with Marcos Records.
Okay. So on this Justice CD, who is the vocalist on the CD?
D. Wally. He opens it, and he does such a superb job. I mean, actually, he helped with some of the lyrics, so I got to give him some credit there. You know, it's amazing what he did, and Marcos together, all of us, my niece, it was just amazing.
Well, I wish you the best with this CD. Once again, thank you for watching On The Spot. We going to a commercial. I got to pay some bills, y'all. And we be right back with Mike Fair.
On the spot. On the spot. On the spot.
guys, John Rader, Rader Car Company, 1429 Schrock Road, Columbus, Ohio, 43229. And our phone number is 614-888-3111. Come on in, give us a call. Everybody's approved. We have service, full service, from anywhere from transmissions to oil changes, tires, wheels, rotors, you name it, we fix it. Guaranteed approval. Everybody that walks in the door can and will be approved. Sky's the limit. Let us reestablish your life and fix your credit. You can look at our cars at radercarco.com, and you can reach us at 614-888-3111.
On the spot.
Mike Fair, please tell us about your book that you just came out with.
Well, that was wrote in 2013, but I hadn't really put it out there to the masses of people back then like I have right now. It's on Amazon right now. You can get it. It's $12. It talks about my life back in the early days, just like we had conversation about my foster years. I talk about the death of Michael Fair, which is touching in that book. He was killed some years ago. And I also talk about my mother, my biological dad. I talk about just a whole list of people in the neighborhood that I grew up with. Buster Douglas, a friend of mine, his dad, back in the day when I was, boxing. A lot of folks don't know that I used to be a boxer, fought in the Golden Gloves. There's a lot of things in that book that will inspire some young man to let him know that he can overcome his past to be brought to the present.
Okay. Who's your target audience with the book?
Just everyone. I mean, anyone that has gone through the cracks of, yesterday. I was counted out as a young man. Actually, it's amazing that I was able to even write that book because I couldn't even write or read at an early age because of the things that were before me. It was difficult when I went to school. And I want to put a shout out to Mrs. Lucky. She inspired me. And she became superintendent of Columbus City Schools. I'll never forget her. She was one of the ones when, my humble beginnings, when I was a paper boy on Franklin Avenue, she told me that one day I was going to be great. She saw it in me. People around me, like I said again, I have to keep saying this, people like Bill Moss and James Moss and Deputy Chief Blackwell, some of these people inspired me to get to where I am today. It's still a struggle, but I know I'm still going to somehow overcome all those things of the past and get to the present. I just have to work at it one day at a time.
Okay, so also I understand that you have a landscaping business. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I started that back in 1987 out of a car. I used to even use a young lady's car sometimes that I was dating to do landscaping. I would put my tools in the car, she'd go to work, and I use her car to do landscaping out of. So that's where Fair Landscaping actually started. I started out with maybe 2 or 3 customers and you know, cutting bushes at $10, which is, you know, you can't get that to be done anymore. I mean, everything is high now, but you know, I was inspired back then to start Fair Landscaping. Actually, let me just backtrack, because a guy named Stephen Hill, who I work for out in Bexley, I want to give a shout out to him. He was one of the ones that sort of gave me the insight about landscaping, different plants, you know, because there's a variety of maybe 500 different plants, you know, that if I even called them off to you, I'd have you dizzy, from burning bush, golden privet, arthritis, you know, perennials, all that kind of stuff. But I learned from him how to do landscaping. You know, I ran crews for him when he was when he had the business in Bexley, and I learned how to talk to the customers and try to please them, you know. And you know, that's a hard thing to do today, to try to please anybody about landscaping, no matter, you know, who it is. So, but like I said, he started me out working for him, and then Fair Landscaping was born. I told him one day, I'm ready to start my own thing, and there it is, Fair Landscaping.
Michael Fair, if you would like for somebody to contact you, can you please give the audience the information?
Contact me at Fair Landscaping and Design. The phone number is 614-235-8740. Nobody does it like Fair. Those of you who'd like to purchase this CD, you can get it at MikeFairYahoo.com. And if you want to get the book, Fair Warning by Mike Fair.
Okay, Mike Fair, you got a lot of things going on, so is there anything you would like to say and tell the audience?
Well, one thing I'd like to let them know is that you can overcome all yesterday if you just believe in yourself and have perseverance, and God will guide you and show you where to go and where to be. And I just want to put shout outs to Marcos Records. I want to put shout out to my parents. I want to put shout out to the community, because without you there'd be no Mike Fair. And I want to thank you for interviewing me.
It was really a pleasure meeting you. I really enjoy hearing about the book. I enjoy hearing about the CD and your business. I wish you luck. Thank you for watching On The Spot. If you would like to be a guest, please contact marcosrecords@gmail.com or contact us at 614-844-5150. If you would like to be a blessing, you got to be a blessing. Thank you for watching On The Spot.
On the spot.